All right, you guys all know it's on the horizon, but we have got a whole new era of, we got the horsepower wars coming back. I just feel like we need to call it something different, make up something new. Horsepower wars is cool, and I'm telling you, I think GM is positioned to really stomp some ass in this one. When Camaro 6 was here, what they did was they made the car, and then they're like, cool, everybody's fired. All we pretty much got was like C8 paint hand-me-down colors, sticker packages, and you know what I'm saying, just combos and stuff. And then they just made an addition. We got no horsepower bump, we got nothing. The power levels that came out in 16 is what they left with in 24. If they do this right, their competition, I think, is kind of, well, I mean, Dodge is well, let's just get into it. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play. I just want to talk a little bit of Ford. Now, look, I haven't gone through with the fine-tooth comb and like really looked at the numbers and everything. I will say Mustang's down, but let's talk about it here in just a second. Let's get into it. So I can't remember this dude's name. I want to say it's Flores, Mr. Flores. I'm just going to play this real quick.
The 24 Mustang was the worst selling Mustang in the history of Mustang. Wow. Ever. And guess what the 25 is tracking as? 18% less sales than 24. So by the end of this year, the 25 Mustang might be the worst selling Mustang of all time. It does not have the Charger, Challenger, or Camaro for competition. What they do wrong? I think Ford just kind of lost their way. I think they just built a car for like whoever they thought was going to buy it. The 24 Mustang.
Okay. So pretty much I'm going to say, I'm going to say, if you want to know what the people are thinking, go where the people are. And that's going to be your comment section. Now, that's off the Street Alpha podcast. And it was a clip that pretty much encapsulated, what he was saying, talking about with Mustang perfectly. So that's why I decided to play it. But let's get into the comments here right away, because I did read a couple. Right there, third one down. Ugly. I think looks are subjective, man. Ridiculously overpriced. There it is, man. I'm sorry, that wasn't even all the way down. I was boom, right there. Overpriced. Fourth one in. 2019, you could get a Mustang for $40K and have it doing like 500 horsepower. Yeah, that's true, because I remember when the Mustang came on scene, I thought it was in the mid 30s. For it wasn't like a GT Premium or anything, but it was a V8. It was a basic V8 stick car. It's the here we go. It's the economy, man. Got mine for $52,000, which is reasonable for okay. Yeah, there it is. It's priced too high. All car sales. Yeah. Well, here's my thing, and I brought this up before. I realized this, but I was watching Xander. I think it was Xander 13, and he was saying, in 24, when the Mustang left and it knew that it was going to be the only gas V8 on the market, other than Cadillac and Corvette, but it pretty much had no pony car competition. He went through and checked every box and did that build and price thing, and it came out to like $90,000 for a Mustang. And I mean, here's the thing is, since 2018, 2019, when coronavirus came in, we have heard everything. Dodge was talking, the carbon taxes, about how they have to pay $56,000 on every Hemi that's, you know what I'm saying? We heard every excuse on how they're, cranking the price up. When Dodge had the last call and they came out with all those crazy additions, man, I tell you what, I went to order because when I was waiting on my ZL1, I was ready to jump. I was ready to say, screw GM. $96,000 for a Charger. We know now that it's pretty much the EV bankrolling that we've had to freaking foot the bill on. And, I just made a video a couple days ago on they're making the upper echelon models because the markup and the profit margin is just way higher than those cars. So they can sell one car and make a lot more money in that one car. So they're just going to keep making those cars. There was like 30 some cars over $100,000, but there was only 18 under 30,000. or right around the 33,000. I don't know. You go back and watch that video. It is crazy how they're really cranking it to us. So what I've been hearing is a lot of people are upset that Ford is locking the ECMs like GM. GM's just been, they've just been consistent commies. They're just so what, we did it. It's, the plan is shutting down due to a chip shortage. They did that throughout the whole freaking from 2019 to 2022, 3 maybe. I don't know. After I got my car, I was like, I didn't really follow it that much, but because it was frustrating to say the least. And all the people that were waiting for their cars, when you got your car, you were like, whew. I mean, you just wanted to be away from it and done with it. Here we go. Now Ford seems to be following what GM is doing. And it's always been the opposite in the past. So now Ford's starting to lock their ECM, and there's a lot of evidence by there's other channels, and I've been watching a lot of content and reading a lot of articles that they're wanting to just hoard this data. They're wanting to hoard the data on the cars to push out or, root out independent shops out of the way. They want to hoard all this data because there's a lot. It's pretty lucrative selling our information. Insurance company. There's a lot of the DMV's in on this too. I guess there's a lot of money in it. So they're trying like hell to lock these things down and keep everybody out. Well, the aftermarket, the aftermarket's not ever going to let that happen. Now, it's been kind of a mess because like the C8, it's been out for a while now, and I still don't think that you can get everything. Maybe you can. It's $2,500. I know it's $2,000, right around there, for the credits to unlock the ECM and maybe the TCM. I don't know. Someone correct me if they have done this. Unlike the CT5E Blackwing, the C8 Core, anything Global B. That's crazy. That's right up there with like a Lamborghini or Ferrari or something. Found this article, and I'm gonna do this. Boom. Let's add it in. It's a little Zozo action for you. So I found this article that Farley was talking, and he noted right here. But what they don't know, and what the user may not be aware of, is that all the reliability and the quality issues that might come up are very expensive. I just feel like we're being gaslit for some. I don't understand this entirely. I think when people hack the ECMs in their cars, because we've been tuning these things forever, especially because, the Gen 4, from what I hear, the Gen 4 Coyote is really no different than Gen 3. It's just a few things on the intake and maybe like some emissions tuning. That's what I've heard is the difference. Just say you want to have a proprietary use for the data. You want to keep it for yourself. Just be somewhat transparent. Now, I think that Ford is kind of in some hot water. One, they're kind of losing trust from their customers. They're kind of killing hype. They're stepping on their own. In a sense, I think that they're kind of killing their fan base a little bit because, one, they're playing keep away with the fun by locking the ECMs, and two, I think that they're having a little, and I didn't know that this was that big of a deal, because I'll just do this. Boom. I add it in. I just Googled, use their favorite people. Do they have like a recall problem? Because every video that I go through that has Ford or anything, in the comment section, I just scroll through a little bit. Everybody's complaining about the recalls. Why do you have so many recalls? Every interview with Jim Farley. Some of these recalls are crazy, man. There was one in here, right here. Almost 1 million cars, man. Fuel injectors cracking. What? That's crazy. Oh, here it is right here. Cracked fuel injectors and underhood fire risks. Yeah, that's a bad BAD. Now, look, I know that, recalls are pretty common. They're nothing any company ever really panics about because it's man-made stuff. So it's gonna happen. It's common, but this is a lot. Potential steering column defect. Like, this is serious stuff, man. Like, this is seriously dangerous stuff. Plug-in hybrid vehicles were recalled due to a battery issue that could lead to loss of motive power or a fire risk. We're still dealing with this. How many years later in these EVs? You know what I mean? They really placed their poker chips on red with the EVs before, and now it's like less than half. Less than half of the demand of what they were thinking that was going to be there initially. I think that they're going to be pretty well hurting because, one, they don't have anything new coming in the pipeline to really help their brand out or to draw any kind of excitement until they get the issues with the EVs or the recalls handled. I just don't see the hype machine faring very well for Ford. Switching gears to Dodge, they're on the comeback. Now, they do have a little bit of hype. I think that they do have some momentum behind them. But the thing with Dodge is they're spending a ton of money, tens of billions with the B. I just don't think that they have the marketing, or I don't think that they have a strategy that's going to be different enough to be anything new. Now, I'm going to say I will leave a link to the video below in the description like I always do. But Savage Geese, couple days ago, maybe a week, they dropped a video on Stellantis. I'm going to play the very first little clip of it. Now, the entire video is really good. It's like all the videos that they do, really good. It's just they're really good at storytelling. So the slow roll information takes so much time to get from A to B on it, but it is kind of detailed. But I did want to play like the first little bit of a clip because it really condenses everything down and it really encompasses everything as to which I think is going on. It's the problem with Dodge right now. Okay, so let's go.
So I wanted to, and I introduced this video as, what we're going to try to talk about. So let's get right into it. I personally grew up with these cars, and if you've watched this channel, you'll understand when you grow up with some of the world beaters that they had, like the
80s and 90s,
the Dusters, the Sundance, the Cirruses, the Stratuses, and the whole host of other like gems like the Dodge Nitro and LeBarons. I mean, they've always really tried to break into like the commodity vehicle thing, like the affordable commodity vehicle thing, and they did a really good job with some of them.
Neon
was like just they broke through, right? They absolutely broke through, and then they just threw it out. And like it's one of the most confusing brands or multiple layers of brands I think we've ever dealt with. And you look at them and their struggles, it's like Nissan a little bit in terms of brand perception, but I think they have even more problems. Not even the money part, but just the brand issues that they struggle with.
I'm going to say two things.
Well, before Jack jumps in there, remember when the SRT4 came out? And they were the first one to get there was a time at the drag strip. I think it was the first one to be under 15 seconds for under 20,000. It was like 1999. But that's what he's talking about. They lost their way. And Jack's about really to bring up a good topic, but they used to do budget badassery. And now, I think when that Ghost Edition came out, some people it was crazy amounts of money. $100,000, $200,000. I mean, that's not what they are. Once the hype machine got behind it and you saw all the videos online and everything, I think that's when it became a roller coaster with no brakes.
Before we talk about the brand issues and where they're at today and the product lineup in the future, because that's where this conversation is going to go.
Yeah.
To be fair to Dodge, the people who worked on those cars that you grew up with are long gone. They're like 30, 40 years ago. And that brand is not the same brand it is today for reasons that
bingo.
That the brand has changed ownership 3 times since then.
Yeah.
Daimler, FCA, and now Stellantis. And I think the brand today is attempting to right the ship the same way Nissan is. And that they know internally they have problems. They have problems with QC issues. They have problems with brand perception, and they have problems with their product portfolio, which is
basically everything.
Yeah.
So
okay. I'm gonna leave that video for you guys to watch. It is a good watch. I'm telling you, everything's been gutted and we're starting over. But here's the thing: is they're spending so much freaking money and they're just bringing back what left. So they're picking up where they left off, and I don't think it's gonna be enough. I think they're spending too much money. I don't think that they're the people that behind the brand, I just don't think they have the balls like they did before. I don't see it. I watched Racer X on another video he did about them bringing the Viper back, and they swear up and down they're not bringing the Viper, but they're developing a different car right now that is supposed to be better than the Viper. But I mean, I've heard about Barracuda and all this stuff for ages, but go watch that video. It's a really good breakdown of the brand. I'm just saying, I don't think what they're doing is enough. Maybe I'm wrong. You do have the diehards, man. You do have the diehards, and I could be wrong. And I'm going to add this. And I'm sorry I didn't take it to the top, but here is the part where I did some, a little bit of research or whatever. In November 2021, they came out with this article, and it said, Cadillac Racing. Here's the thing that I really took away from this whole article. It says the luxury Marquet, I think that's how you say it. That one caught me off guard. Will treat the 2026 season as a learning experience, zeroing in on building experience and figuring out what works rather than aiming right for the podium. That's massive. And I'll leave a link to that article too. But I think with GM saying, all right, going for gold isn't really the priority here. It's really getting a foundation of what really works and what we have, especially with that new V8 coming out. I think that this could be GM's position to really steamroll the other two. Ford could come back swinging, but I mean, the thing is like you go do a build-in price on that single cab 6-foot box F-150. The moment you add 4-wheel drive or whatever, they know what you're doing with the Coyote 10-speed and the 4-wheel drive. It's the price shoots way up. I just don't see the price gouging. I think is what people is gonna cause resentment. Repos are way up. People are just taxed. They're tapped out. They're it's not becoming trendy anymore to go broke by driving a status symbol, I guess you could call it. I don't know. I always did what I wanted to do, like that ZL1. I kind of knew in the back of my mind when we were doing the heads cam, I was like, this probably ain't gonna last very long. But I did it anyways because I just knew that was like the last hill for me to crest. I wanted to achieve that. I took it that far. I wanted to do heads cam. I've always wanted to have a heads cam car. Did it, and now I'm happy. But I kind of want to do it again. I'm getting the urge. I'm getting the itch. I don't know what I want to do just yet. But that's not this video. Income GM, I think my own 2 cents. I think if they stay pushrod, I think that this could really, really catapult the company to the front line. I just do. I know that a lot of people, me myself, I would like to see DOHC, but with them going pushrod, it's what works. The packaging, it's what helps stuff them in the Porsche 944, the tight, tiny, compact package of the engine. Like a Mazda Miata swaps, everything LS swap. You could just LS swap. I think they have a website, LS swap parts or whatever.com. But I you know what I'm saying? That's what kept it viable, making money, selling a lot, videos on YouTube, social media, whatever. But I think if GM sits back, focuses on what they have, and they come out with the Camaro, especially with all the emissions and everything dropping. I'm just talking about pre-COVID, because we all know 2019 plus, just everything got stupid. So if we could just go back to prior to that and pick up where we left off with all these new tech and toys, I think that GM could really have something going for them. So you guys tell me what you think. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I close? Maybe I'm not. Did I miss something? Did I overlook something? Maybe I'm having, your different perspective is awesome. Don't forget to like the video on the way out. I hate to remind you guys every time, but they tell me that it's a 40% bump if I do say something. So the call to action. Like the video, guys. Appreciate you guys. You guys have a good day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.